All right, this is lesson 9 for accounting for cash and payments. Record cash payments using a cash payments journal and record replenishing of the petty cash fund. So what we did yesterday, we did the purchase journal and then journalized the purchase journal. So this one's going to be a little bit different. This is the cash payments journal. So hopefully this sub is already handed out. If not, pause and ask the sub for the note sheets. Cash payments journal. A cash payments journal is a special journal used to record only cash payment transactions. Okay, here's the cash payments journal. So you can see here that we have the date, account title, and check number, because most of these are always going to be check. You have post reference. You have general columns, but you have accounts payable debit, purchase discount credit, and cash credit. So we have some different columns that we're not used to. Notice that none of them are doubled up columns. Notice that we do need to still make sure that our debits and credits will always equal. Okay, the retail price listed in the catalog or on an internet site is called a list price. A trade discount is a reduction in the list price granted to the merchandising businesses. Sometimes you get a trade discount, so when you pay, it can be a little bit cheaper. The price after the trade discount has been deducted from the list price is referred to as the net price. A cash discount is a deduction that a vendor allows on an invoice amount to encourage prompt payment. A journal amount column that is not headed with an account title is called a general amount column. So this would be like supplies or expense accounts. That's your general amount columns. Also, the cash discount. This is kind of what I had mentioned yesterday about the 2, 10, and 30. You can get a 2% discount within the first 10 days, or you have to pay full in 30. So we'll get a little bit more into this. Okay, cash payments of an expense. So here's how you would do this. So on November 3rd, you wrote a check to Kessler Promotions for advertising. Since this count doesn't have an actual accounts payable count, we wouldn't use the purchase journal. We would use the cash payments journal because it's just an expense. So advertising expense is going to increase as a debit and your cash is going to decrease as a credit. But with the cash payments journal, you will notice that we will use advertising expense. Advertising expense is not accounts payable credit debit or accounts payable account. So we're going to use 689 for check number and we'll use the general debit column. You still have a debit, you still have a credit. Your cash is just credited. So there's no reason to write advertising expense in cash like we used to in the general journal. We will actually just write it in right here. So advertising expense, account title, the check number. Notice that we don't use C because it says check number. Debit 600 and your credit is 600. Now, cash, your debit and your credit still equal. And yes, this column is cash. Okay, so we will eventually post all the cash to the cash, just not right away. Okay, on November 6th, we wrote a check to Wells Office Supply for store supplies. Now, since you wrote a check, basically you paid cash for it, you didn't buy it on account, we will put it in the cash payments journal. Supplies office increases 5620. Cash decreases 5620. Once again, this is a general ledger account. Supplies office, debit general 5620, and cash 5620. Debits and credits still equals. Okay, cash payments for purchases. We purchased merchandise from Polar Refrigerator for cash. So we purchased it from a company for cash. So first of all, your purchases is going to increase and your cash is going to decrease. So this is a little bit different because once again, we purchased it with cash. So on the 9th, you purchases, the account name is purchases. We do have an account name purchases now. Check number 697. You have a general debit of 480 and a cash credit of 480. Once again, your debits and credits still equal. And once again, if I go too fast, you're more than welcome to pause it. Now, cash payments on account. So the period of time during which a customer may take cash discount is called the discount period. When a company that has purchased merchandise on account takes a cash discount is called a purchases discount. An account that reduces a related account on a financial statement is called a contra account. So we're going to see how this works here in just a second. So this isn't a controlling account. Notice that's a contra account because we learned about controlling accounts on Monday or 9-1. Okay, cash payments on account with purchase discount. So here we go. We paid cash on account to Galila Electric, $627, covering purchase invoice number 489 for $640. Now, before we get too much into this, notice that it says for invoice number 489. That's going to confuse somebody. So what we're just saying is we're covering that purchase invoice because the original amount was $640. Here's how much your cash is. We had a 2% discount. So technically, we would just take $640 times 2%, and we'd find out our discount of $1280. They have already done the math for us in this case, so we don't need to do the math. So are we going to use all the numbers? Absolutely. Okay, so accounts payable is going to decrease, and purchase discount is going to increase, and our cash is going to decrease because we're finally paying this bill. Okay, account title. We pay the company. This is our vendor. On the 14th, check number 702. We put the original amount of the purchase invoice, which was $640, in the accounts payable debit. Notice, purchase invoice amount. We have a discount of $12.80. So our purchase discount credit is $12.80. Please remember that our debits and credits must always equal. So technically, if they don't give us the number, we can figure it out. Take our debit minus our credit. So our cash credit is $627. This is the purchase invoice amount less the cash discount. If you can't remember what less means, put a little minus sign there. Okay, this is new to you. You've never done a purchase discount. Now, cash payments on account without purchase discounts. So this one's a little bit easier for you. You wrote a check to S&R Imports to pay on account for $2,512, covering purchase invoice number 468, check number 706. Accounts payable $2,512 goes down, cash goes down. So in this case, you just put the date, the vendor name, the check number, and it goes in accounts payable debit and cash credit. A lot of you are going to try to put it over here in the general debit. This is not a general ledger account. It is an accounts payable account. So make sure you understand that if you're paying a purchase invoice that you put it in there. All right, replenishing a petty cash fund. Don't use the words petty cash because you're replenishing it. So here's a petty cash report, which we have kind of messed with before, and I do remember doing this with you. So on November 22nd, here's your petty cash report. Here's your reconciliation is $250, advertising, supply store, and miscellaneous. Total payment is $215.13. Total amount, you take it. You should record amount on hand was $34.87. We actually have $35.18. So we are over this time 31 cents. And so therefore we will only be getting cash back at $214.82. So how we do this in the cash payments journal. You have your date and your account title. So first thing I would go list, you know this is cash. So go put it in cash. Okay, this is the first one. You're going to have lots of different numbers. Then we have advertising expense. Put it down there, $124. These are not accounts payable accounts. These are all general ledger accounts. Supply store, miscellaneous expense. And this is probably the first time we've had it over, so you will have to credit it, because if it's cash short, we must debit it. Once again, our debits and credits must always equal. Also, you can see where these numbers are coming straight from. If this happened to be a cash short, we would put it over here. Since it's in parentheses, it means it's minus. We have to subtract that because we owe, that's more money that we have. So therefore, you would put it in credit at this time. So please pay attention. Not accounts payable. The only time is when you pay on account is when you use the accounts payable column. All right, so what is the net price of the item with a $12,000 list price having a 60% trade discount? Well, you can take $12,000 times 0.60, $720. Okay, so we need to take $12,000 minus $720. I say $12,000, $1,200, and you will have $480 trade discount. Okay. Why would a vendor offer cash discounts to customer? To encourage early payment. What is recorded in the general amount columns of the cash payments journal? Cash payments transactions that do not occur often. What is meant by terms of sale 2, 10, and 30? This is what I've been talking about to you. The 210, 2 means a 2% discount within 10 days or full amount in 30, net 30. So 210 means 2% of the invoice amount may be deducted if the invoice is paid within 10 days of the invoice date. Net 30 means that the total invoice amount must be paid within 30 days. When journalizing a cash payment to replenish petty cash, what is entered in the account title column of the cash payments journal? The title of the accounts for which the petty cash funds were used. Not the word petty cash. Do not write it. How is cash short recorded in the account cash short and over? As a debit. All right. I'm going to have to make another video because I'm going to video for the work together. So this was the PowerPoint, and now you're going to get out your work together from yesterday. All right, click on the next video, please. Thanks.